So are you a cocooner?
No, that'd be 70. There's a 10-year gap there.
You're spring chicken
For
in
God's
comparison.
sake. I don't look 70 yet. I'm not 70 yet. No. 10 years.
10 years. Well, you certainly don't look 60.
Yeah, well, getting up there now.
Do you cook?
No, I don't cook. No, that's one thing I don't do. Beans on toast suits me.
Yeah.
I'm not a fussy person like that, but
Nick, thank you.
Will you drop a milk for both of you?
Thanks so much.
This is purely for you, just so you know. Paul, we need to talk about Jack.
Oh, yeah.
How
yeah.
sad.
Yeah, it was a shock. I think we'd met about a year earlier. There was a golf thing that they were having for him, and we all got to see him, and a lot of the players were there.
Oh, were they?
And it was just lovely to have that day with him, because we knew he wasn't...
He wasn't well.
Yeah, he wasn't well.
No.
And Pat was with him as well, so we had a fabulous day there.
He loved you, though.
He kind of liked me. He didn't love me. No, there was times he used to kind of chase me out of the hotel sometimes. No, he was brilliant with me.
He was fair.
Absolutely brilliant and fair and honest. And if I was out of order, he would always say, "Now the next game, you're not even involved. You've nothing to do with us."
Oh.
And it was brilliant, because then I knew that I'd have a chance of getting back in.
Yes.
And I'd always get back in.
But I love when someone said that Jack wouldn't let you go out one night, so he made you stay in your room on your own.
One night.
What?
Every night.
Every night.
Basically, yeah. Every night usually. And yeah, he used to have a thing with me where he'd nearly have someone sleeping across the door. I'd check the windows and I'd check the drain pipes. No, he did it for the right reasons. He wanted me to play, and that was the lovely thing about him. He wanted me to be in the team. But it got to a stage where I'm sure he was thinking, this isn't worth it.
Oh, I think he thought you were worth it.
He's pushing me too far, but he was always dead kind to me and all that sort of stuff. So I
And didn't he join you one night with a box of chocolates or something?
He did, yeah, he did that.
Oh.
Didn't want that mentioned on TV, a man joining me in my room with a box of chocolates in the Nuremberg. But yeah, he did, yeah. He came up and he just sat, and we were just chatting about, ridiculous things, really. But Jack, that was Jack.
But he was like, he was a father figure,
yeah,
wasn't he?
He was a curse. He was brilliant with me, because I'd caused him so many problems in areas that I shouldn't have.
Just with the booze?
Just with drinking and not showing up for certain meetings or something like this.
Yeah.
But he genuinely wanted me in the team, and I knew that, and I used to always try and say to myself, well, look, try and just behave yourself a little bit better tonight so you can make it till tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
But the times I used to think sometimes we used to get beaten, and then I'd blame myself and go,
you think it was your fault?
You've let him down. Now you have to do better for him the next time. But there was sometimes that I shouldn't have been playing football, because I wasn't.
You weren't in the right space.
I wasn't well. Yeah, I wasn't well.
No, you weren't well. So don't be too hard on yourself,
No, I look back on it. I think I've loved every minute that I played for Ireland. I love the jersey. I love the thing of being Irish and pulling on that green jersey.
Yeah.
There's no bigger thrill. But I sometimes think I didn't give everything I had sometimes, because maybe it wasn't possible on certain days.
But everyone loves you. They do. There's something about you.
I don't think I've quite got to that thing where this is 30 years after the World Cup or whatever, the first one. I don't understand the adoration or whatever it is that people still come up and want your photograph and stuff like that. And or even older men just coming up to shake your hand and saying thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, I was doing something I loved. And even back then, I would say, doctors, people who save people's lives, rescuers, there's loads of people I'd put before footballers anyway. But I still enjoy it. I still enjoy it, and I still get a little bit emotional when people do that, because
of course,
because it's nice. It's nice for people to actually say thank you for
thank you for playing for Ireland.
I love the place.
Yeah,
always have. I mean, even from growing up, I've always felt safe
Yes.
in being Irish,
Yeah.
or even been called Irish and stuff like that. That was even a bonus to me.
Yeah, well, you are Irish.
Oh yeah, no, but I know that. But there's an awful lot of people who sometimes you do hear the odd thing that and you go, "Gee,
As in,
yeah."
like, he's not Irish.
Well, yeah, but that it doesn't worry me half as much
No.
as it used to when I was. I mean, I used to spend half my life battling to be Irish, basically, when I was younger. I think I've made it now.
That's good.
You know, but then I'd look at Nick there and I'd just say, "Geez, what a great kid."
Yeah.
And let him get on with his life
Yeah.
and be a brilliant whatever he wants to be.
Yeah.
But because of his colour, there is that kind of, there's always going to be someone
He's going to make the nasty comment.
where he goes, that because I've had it myself, where you go in and there's just that one fella who doesn't feel you're as much. Well, sometimes it's as much as they are.
But what do you do? Like, in the olden days, would you have reacted with a punch in the nose?
Well, in my younger days, yeah, I grew up in an orphanage, so
Yeah.
if someone called me the N-word and stuff like that, then there was a punch-up. You know, I didn't win a lot of them, and sometimes I did, so.
It's just so strange that, like, you did fight, like, in your book, when you were saying, you know, that you were bullied, so you had to bully. Like, I can see why you might have been bullied because you were a vulnerable child. And you're kind and gentle, but I just can't imagine you in a fight. I couldn't imagine you angry because you were such a gentle person.
I remember thinking, like, if someone called you something, that sort of word, you kind of had to stand up
make a
for yourself.
stand.
You had to stand up
Yeah.
for yourself, or otherwise they just kept calling you.
Yeah.
So either you're going to do something about it or you're not. It was only ever when I looked in a mirror that I realised I was different. So you could play with the kids, you could be playing tag in the yard for about an hour, and you know, you wouldn't really realise until you looked in a mirror, you'd suddenly realise the black and white difference.
Yeah.
Like when you're 8 years old and stuff like that, and you're thinking, so why are they having a pop at me, calling me this thing?
Yeah, why does it matter?
What?
Like, what's different
Yeah.
about me that matters?
Yeah,
It's hard to get your head around as a child, though, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, it's strange. It's a strange one.
in those days, you know, when your mum was worried about saying that she was pregnant and stuff, and like, what do you think about what this country went through? Whereas nowadays, that wouldn't have happened now.
Yeah, no, that's true. My mum went to London for work.
Yeah.
You know, just to clean houses and stuff like that, as a lot of Irish people did.
Yeah.
And there was a doctor's house she was working at, and obviously he was a doctor of colour, and I was a result. And in those days, you couldn't come back to Ireland really with a black child and stuff like that. But she was brave enough to do that, and then I was given up to foster parents and stuff like that. So she's had a real tough life, like with everything she's gone through with her own parents. I think she was a little bit scared to tell her father that she'd let alone had a baby, but had a baby of colour wouldn't have gone down too well. So I never met my grandfather till I was 15, and if I was my mum, I'd have put me, or I'd have left me with either the foster parents or in the orphanage, and I wouldn't have gone back. I wouldn't have, because it was tough for her to come out.
I know.
And keep saying, yeah, that's my kid, that's my son. And I loved her for that, and I'll always love her for that, because there was
never
never
gave
that.
up.
She never cut that thing where she didn't say, you know, she didn't want me as a son or something like that.
She was determined to still be very much part of your life,
Yeah, and
which I love.
yeah, and she started working when she was 13. She started making cakes in a cake factory and stuff like that, and so she had a tough life, you know.
Yeah.
And then when she went to England and stuff like that, I think it just showed her a different life, and she had 2 kids then, and brought one back to her parents, who they kind of looked after and stuff like that. And then I ended up loving my grandfather anyway, because he used to dislike me when I first went to the place, but we ended up like as good friends, really, to be honest, which was brilliant for me.
Yes. And your mum must be so proud of you.
Yeah, I think she used to be thrilled, like when the World Cup was on and stuff, or the Europeans even were on, and because she still travelled in on the bus into work and stuff like that, and people used to be saying, Jeannie, you know, they did great last night and all that, and she loved interacting with all those sorts of people and stuff. So it was.
Oh,
it was
yeah,
great.
it's so exciting, like the excitement you brought. She must have been so proud.
For me, it's been an amazing journey
Yeah.
with my mum, not knowing my father, not wanting to know my father.
Did you
really,
not?
to
You
be
never
honest.
met him ever?
No, never met him, and never wanted to really, to be
No.
honest, because you know, and it's worked out okay.
I have a great Alex Ferguson story. My sister was in a nightclub and she went over to Alex Ferguson, had no idea who he was, and asked him for a biro to get Phil Babb's autograph.
No.
He was disgusted. He's like, you want me to... And she's like, yes, yes, yes. She thought he was just like some little... She just thought he was like some little random man. She's like, yes, 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 quick, he's going to go. Phil Babb's going to go. Do you have a pen? Do you have a pen? And he was
Are you joking?
No, I promise you. And he was so shocked. He
That
gave it to her. She's like, thank you. And I don't think she ever even gave it back to him.
I love your sister.
You love my sister?
I love your sister.
Yeah. So
Oh,
what was he
dear.
like? What
Oh,
was he
dear.
like?
Yeah, he could be a tough manager, you know.
Yeah.
But he just wanted to do things his way. So
Yeah.
and when he came into Manchester United, I think it was at '86 or something, there was a lot of things going on that had to be stopped. We had a
Yeah.
drinking culture and stuff like that. And there was a load of us
Oh,
in
he
it.
didn't like it?
Yeah, he didn't like it at all.
Okay.
But it happened at most clubs back then.
Yeah.
But when it happened with our club that he'd just come to, he wanted it rooted out, and the lads who are the main protagonists of it, he wanted them gone.
And were you one of those
I'm
boys?
afraid I had to stick my hand up and say yes, one of them would be me.
So did he not like you because of it?
No,
He was making a point,
he was
maybe?
making a point, and I got the point. And it was sad for us, but at the same time, it gave us another opportunity to maybe move on to another club and try and do well.
Who do you support now?
Aston Villa.
Do you?
Yeah.
Because that was your last team?
It was the team that I was there the longest, 7
Lady
years.
and
Yes.
gentlemen,
Oh,
started
Nick.
search.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
That looks
problem
lovely.
at all.
Thank you. My God, he's been very impressive. Nick, thanks. How delish.
No worries.
So you support Aston Villa now, Paul?
Aston
Still?
Villa. Still, yeah.
Wow. And that was your happiest place?
Oh,
Do you
yeah,
reckon?
without a doubt, yeah. It was just a great team to get into, and having to leave Manchester United and Liverpool were going to come in for me at one stage, which would have been very strange. But I knew Sir Alex was never going to let me go to Liverpool. So that was a bit of a bummer, because
Yeah.
I wouldn't have minded.
I know, that would have been
Trying.
weird playing against them then. So it's like, okay, listen, good luck to you. I've basically sold you on and that's it. What was the dosh like?
Well, the dosh back in those days was, it was about, I'd say about close to £150,000
Wow.
Not a week. This is the problem.
Okay,
a year.
this is the problem.
This is the problem.
A year? Well, 150 grand a year is still
I-
good dosh.
I played back in the days when, you know, now they're getting that a week. And it's frightening what they're getting now.
I know.
It's scary. I wish I was playing.
I know.
But it was great. To be honest, I'd have played for nothing. You know, it's the one thing that I love doing.
In 2020, would you have made it as a footballer?
No,
Why?
not a chance. Well, my personality wouldn't have allowed me to become a footballer, because I was a nervy kind of a person anyway. I didn't socialise very well with other people unless something was involved, and I don't think I'd been able to stick to all the rules they have now.
Yeah.
You know, so that would have made it very difficult. And apart from that, even back in my day, at my best,
Yeah.
you'd get taken apart by a player nowadays. They're just so good. They're just so technically gifted that they'd wipe the floor with you. You know, if you needed to clear a ball back in my day, you cleared the ball. You didn't mess about. You didn't try and play along with the goalkeeper for half an hour. But I wouldn't be able to, as a player, I know for a fact I wouldn't be able to cope with the players of today.
And yet all those players that have come along would all look up to you. So don't forget that, my friend. They'd all look up to you.
For a little while.
No, they would. They totally would.
Now, folks, main course is up. Pasta carbonara.
Oh, that's lovely.
Do you have any football-related questions you'd like to ask Paul? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
There's always that thought of, you know, when you start getting comfortable playing in big crowds. Was there ever a moment far into your career where you almost got overwhelmed by what was going on?
Yeah, the Giant Stadium was the
94.
You know, yeah, when we walked out, we thought it would be all the tickets would be bought up by the Italians. When we walked out there and just saw the sea of green, it was just, it dawned on me. I was thinking, we can't lose today. We just cannot lose today.
that
And I
feeling of
thought we still
home.
could have got hammered, like, but I was thinking, this is one day we've got to start playing, you know. So it was a brilliant day to be Irish, anyway, you know.
And just seeing the love from the stands.
Oh yeah, the supporters were just unbelievable, unbelievable that day. Just felt like you couldn't lose.
That's a great feeling. Guys, I'll leave you to your meal. Enjoy.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Who was good crack on the Irish team?
I roomed with Kevin Moran for about roughly the 10 years.
Wow.
And Kevin's good crack. He's a bit serious, like businesses to run. Andy Townsend was one of the funniest people I knew.
Really?
He is just hilarious. Mick McCarthy is very dry.
McGrath.
Yeah, but he is very, very funny as well.
Paul, did you get to pick who you roomed with, or were you just told, right, Paul, you're in with...
They were told that they were in with me.
Oh, really?
I think as they
So
saw it as some sort of punishment, I think.
Did they have to spy on you then and make sure you didn't sneak out?
No, I think they had to tell when I did.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
They had to rat on you?
They had to rat on me. They had to. No, they didn't know. No, they wouldn't have to do that. But I wanted to go to the World Cup. I started behaving myself. After 88, when we'd beaten England, I thought, you know, geez, I want to be part of whatever's happening. When we got to the World Cup, I went off the booze, I went off everything, and I just trained as hard as I could, because you want to be part of that whole setup, and they were a great bunch of lads. So
I think you're lucky the way you can just go off the booze.
Well, for something as big as that, when you've seen, you had a glimpse of it in Stuttgart and Germany that time, I just said to myself, I've got to be a little bit better this time. I just thought, I'm going to go off everything, and I'm just going to try this one time.
Good man. So how long were you off for?
I was off for about 3 months before we even went on the trip.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, it is for me.
It is for me too.
And then I enjoyed it so much more, because obviously we did quite well.
Yeah.
And then in '94, of course, then I did the same thing. Well, I had to do the same thing but then I got a virus in my shoulder, which kind of knocked me for 6 as well.
Yeah, you're at the other end.
Yeah.
But also, like, you know, you were young, and that scene, like, how anybody can survive that scene of, you know, becoming very famous very quickly as a young guy.
I think it's brilliant being a footballer, though. It's just absolutely brilliant being a footballer. When you love something so much, and you actually get the chance to be, a footballer, the thrill of it is so exhilarating that you start believing that you can do almost anything. But I kind of went in a different direction, where I kind of nearly put it all in jeopardy, simply because I was a little bit nervy and didn't like talking to people and stuff like that. So I'd nearly have, say, a glass of vodka to go out on the football pitch to perform what I could have done without drinking anything and done better. But I'd nearly, like I say, that knife edge thing where it's a stupid way to test yourself. You give the other player you're up against a better chance of beating you by doing something, and then going out and trying to make sure that he doesn't beat you. So I couldn't. It's a stupid way to test yourself, but that's what I was doing sometimes.
But do you think you would have been a better player had you not drank?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yeah. And I wish I never drank. A lot of people do, actually. But but then again, the career I've had, I can't, I'm delighted with the career I've had, so.
Yeah, you were still doing what you loved.
Yeah, exactly. And not too many people get to do the job that they adore, really, to be honest. So that was a good thing.